Hey, it's Theo Tomczuk, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I am happy to be joined by Theo Tomczuk. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited to be chatting with you all about Rykter and of course your character Mathias. But to start off, what can you share about your background in the arts and what sparked that passion in you to pursue this as a career?
Well, I've grown up in a home with a lot of music, a lot of painting, and all these kinds of stuff, and I always was inspired by actors as well. And my sister was always using me as an actor when I was a little child because she was making videos, and she is still making videos on TV. And that inspired me to start with the musicals, and then I went to audition and got the role as Matthias in Rumours, and now I'm working in theaters and developing the acting career.
So with theater, I know you kind of started with musical theater. You're currently in a play as well right now, right? It's
Yes,
Men Who Don't Need.
yes, yes. Well, I started with musicals. It was first of all, I got the role. I was 13 years old, and I started in a musical called it's with Valjean, Les Miserables. It's
Les
called.
Miserables, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was Valjean playing there, and I was also in Chicago as one of the cellophanes, and then the acting started.
It's nice to kind of have a bit of both worlds because you have the stage background and now you're starting with with film and TV. Who are some acting inspirations for you and like why and how did they inspire you?
Well, often my biggest inspirations are those who make me cry. Often I love to look at Denzel Washington's work. He is an amazing actor and always um, touches my heart with his acting skills, and he's always so cool and calm, and it makes him so special. And also really like Joaquin Phoenix. I think it's pronounced that way, and he's also a fantastic actor. I love him, and I'm very inspired by the director of the Men That We Don't Need, the theater that I'm playing in now. He's a very good actor as well, and he's learned me so much, and it's been a beautiful journey. And it was now after Rumours actually that I started working with him, and he's inspired me so much, and he's been the director, and now he's actually playing one of the roles in this theater thing. Yes.
It's so great to have someone there who, is supportive and you can, like you said, look up to. With Denzel Washington, fantastic actor. Which is your favorite Denzel Washington movie?
It's probably Equalizer. It's just so
Yes.
it's a very, very cool how he's always calm and just is the coolest person on earth.
I know. And some of those scenes, I mean, they can get pretty graphic, but they are great movies. He was also in like Man on Fire and
Yeah,
Philadelphia, if you've seen those ones.
Safe House, it's fantastic. Mm.
Going into music, how old were you when you started singing and playing instruments? And what instruments do you play today?
I started singing when I was 3 years old. Then my sister, as I said, she used me as an actor. We made we made music videos when I was a little kid. She was filming music videos and was using me as a singer and actor in those videos. And then I started. I couldn't speak English or something, but I tried my best, and sang some Justin Bieber songs. You know that kiss me, say, and I always just kiss me, and that was how it started. And then I got into playing drums. And I was also learning other kids when I grew a little bit older how to play the drums. I was like 12 or something, and they were like six or yeah, around there, six, seven, eight. And then I started playing bass and of course guitar. And the bass is very close to my heart because of my whole family that has been playing the bass. My father, my uncle, my grandfather, and his brother, and everyone in the family. It's a bass family. Many people in Poland like to play bass, and I still love to play it till this day. And of course, I sing and make my own songs and write and produce. Yeah.
It's fantastic that you also come from the musical family that you can kind of, look to and be like, I'm carrying on the family torch or whatnot with the bass guitar. Now, when did music become more than just a hobby for you? Like, when did you know that you wanted to not only sing covers, but create original music?
Mm. Yeah, I grew up on an island, a very small island. It was 800 people living there. It was a big island with very not much people. And I had a bus station, not by my house, but like 2 kilometers away or three or something. So I always had to walk this long, long path. And in that meantime, I love to make melodies and just sing out loud because I didn't have any neighbors, so no one could listen to me. I could just make melodies and just stuff came to my head and bass lines and stuff, and that was when I was a little kid. And then when I was around 13, I started to write on these melodies, and I'm still doing it till today.
I love that you clearly have like that passion for it and that drive to make music. And much of your music is in English. So can you tell me about your decision to start singing in English instead of Norwegian?
Well, I started singing in English because all of the music that I listen to, I don't listen so much to Norwegian music. I'm a big fan of these old classics like rock classics. I listen to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and stuff like that from the 70s, the 80s, 90s, 60s, The Doors. And these melodies and lyrics is they just come more naturally in English, and that's why the lyrics always comes in English first because it suits it better. That's how I made the melody, so it suits the English language, right?
So you did mention a couple of, artists, kind of rockers. Who are some of your other influences musically?
I got a lot of influences. I've always been a big fan of the Black Keys and Arctic Monkeys. From I was a little kid. Those two bands were my favorite since I was 5 years old. I was blasting them so loud in my house because I didn't have neighbors, and was singing to them, and I love them. And I actually saw Arctic Monkeys live last year, and it was fantastic. When I think I was 9 or 10. I got tickets to the Black Keys concert, but then the drummer he broke his arm the day before, and in that band you only have the drummer and the guitarist. So 50% of the band were not able to play. So it was not a concert, and I was crying so many days because of that, and that's why they are such a big influence for me. And also bands like Royal Blood, um, they're more of the new generation of rock, but I really like to be inspired by like Hozier's lyrics and more of Arctic Monkeys' riffs, and a lot of other artists and bands.
For sure. I feel like with your music, I mean, you have so many different influences because, I mean, my favorite song of yours is Trust because it's kind of like slow and cinematic, but you also have like the rock star vibes, like in the Grin, and your new song, which we'll talk about in a bit, Ghost, and other like R&B, electronic influences. How would you personally describe your sound and who you are as an artist?
Personally, I would describe my songs as songs that are very riff based. It all comes from a bass groove and a bass line that is like the fundament of the song, right? And as you said, I love to um, have many genres in the song, not just make one genre, one album, and with just the same theme, but explore maybe a lot more around it. But as an artist, I would say that I have a lot of lyrics that mean very much to me. I write songs based of my life and experiences and things um, that I hear from others, like stories. And many of my songs are about mental health, a lot of them, and that's why they mean so much to me. And that's why I love to put a song on the paper instead of having it in my head, like these thoughts about everything, and because it takes a toll on me.
Songwriting, it's very like a healing process for a lot of people. So you write your own music. Do you also have co-writers or is it mainly yourself?
Well, I have been having some co-writers, yes, in sessions that I've been in. Then I've been working a lot with a guy called Henrik Heaven. He's very talented, and we always go through what's in my mind and what I want to tell and everything, and we work together, and it becomes very nice.
It's always nice to kind of work with others who maybe can help you like fine tune what you want to say as you continue to grow as like an individual songwriter. So you just released Ghost in August. Can you share the story of the song and the ideas behind it?
Well, Ghost is a song inspired by the theater that I've been playing, the thing that we've been playing, because it's about men's mental health, about problems in men's mind that a lot of men are bad at talking about problems, about what they're going through, about what they feel. And this is a song about also bipolarity, which is very important to me, and this kind of mental state, and all of these mental problems, like what's it called? Schizophrenia, schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia, yeah.
Yeah. And I also made a music video to it, which explains more of the song, the story behind it, because in the music video you're in a room, a mental hospital with a man, and you can find more of the story behind it in the music video, and And it's about yeah, this because I have a family member that has been going through tough times, and it's also been taking a toll on me, and that's why I wrote that song, and it not just only helped me, but also this family member.
There's nothing like a personal story to add to your music. So I'm sorry to hear kind of you and your family are going through that, but if it can provide some support for others, which I'm sure it has, because it's like this really electric song, but you like you mentioned, it has such a powerful message as well. And my favorite lyric is the one that says like, I'm the rider of the storm, so addicted to the action, because it really like it talks about and encompasses kind of those struggles that people are going through. Now, how have you grown as a performer on stage, and what do you like about live shows?
Yeah, I feel I've grown a lot. I remember the first time when I was standing on stage, I was a little kid, and my mom had to push me out to it because I really wanted to in the days before, but just the hour before, I was almost peeing in my pants, right? And everyone starts somewhere. That's how it is. And I started somewhere, and it wasn't easy, but with help from my mom, who's the most loving person in my entire life, she helped me get on that stage, and there it began. I started playing on these small stages on the island that I lived in, and now I'm playing in the theater every day in front of many hundred people, and that makes me improve as a stage performer, and then nothing becomes like weird to do on the stage because nothing is weird when you just are in that state of mind where you just think everything is normal, everything is cool. Then everyone else also thinks it's cool, and it's just an important thing to just go do it. Like every vision you have in your head of the perfect example of a stage performance and every inspiration you have, just do it, and it will be okay. Yeah.
You have played on some pretty big stages, like musically in competitions and festivals, with a band as well. And you have a show upcoming next month in Bergen on October 25th. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm looking very much forward to it. Live, I'm playing with a wonderful band, and we're always thinking together that as much as idiots we look as on the stage, then it's cooler, right? Then it's more fun to look at. It's 2024, and the performance is more important than the voice. They will not think about if you sing the wrong lyrics or whatever. You just have to do what your inspirations do, and or just do it cooler. I'm looking very forward to that concert. Um, and yeah, it will be pretty nice, and it will be the first solo concert that I'm playing where I'm actually playing the new song Ghost, because I've been playing it on stages and stuff, but it hasn't been a solo concert, right?
What can you share about your upcoming original music? Like, are you working towards an EP or an album?
Now I'm working with some wonderful people in Poland actually, and I'm developing myself there. So I'm going on trips there, and we will see what will happen. But it will be nice. I'm working with a guy called Jeremy Sikorski, and he's a wonderful guy. He's manager for big artists in Poland that has made great success. So I hope for the same.
Early on in your career as a musician, you mentioned, working with your older sister with Iga when you were younger, but you also worked with her on some of your older videos and images. So, how was it to kind of keep up this collaboration with her and work on something together?
Working with my sister has been Very difficult, easy, everything. But it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been very fun, and we're always so happy with the product and everything, and we're inspiring each other's. And we've been discussing a lot of things. We've been getting closer and getting to know each other better because that's the point where we meet as a brother and sister. She's 10 years older than me. She moved out of the house when I was 6 years old, right? But but we meet at that wonderful thing called music videos, and uh, and it's wonderful to work with family. The latest single Ghost with a music video. I was working with some guys that I know from the film industry, the movie industry, and it's been fantastic to record with them and having a professional actor on the music video that I know from the theater. But my sister was also involved because she was editing the music video, and it was wonderful. We were sitting together and doing it together. I was just telling her what to do, and she was just editing, and we were so happy. And that's been the best experience with my sister when we edited that together because it meant so much to us.
It's nice to be able to reconnect over something like that. That's clearly like, she's really into like videos and the editing, and then you with the music, and you can, like you mentioned, come together. We'll get into Richter or Rumors now. Can you tell me about how you became involved with the show? Like anything about your audition process and what made you want to be a part of this project?
At first, I didn't know what I was going in for, but my mom found this article on Facebook, and she made me do it, and and I went to audition, and it was really nice to be on audition. It was a different world, and I really liked it. And I also learned the wrong script at the audition. I learned the Felix role, but with improvising, I got the role as Matthias, and that was nice. And then it happened. Then I got into it, and it was really nice. I was so happy when I got the role as Matthias.
So coming from like the theater background, you like you mentioned your mom kind of saw this post. Did you think about like did you always want to do film and TV and you just hadn't kind of gotten a big opportunity before that? So you were like, I'm gonna go out for this acting role?
I was thinking about auditions. I was thinking there's probably people better than me, stuff like that. Yeah, and I was thinking that there's always someone more known than me and people that they would rather have than me. But that's just a dumb thought. You always have to try, and I tried, and it went good. It was the first audition that I went to, and I got a role. Anyone can get a role. You just have to try, right?
I'm glad that you didn't kind of let those fears and doubts make you not audition for this show because obviously you had a good experience and you got the part. How would you describe your character, Matthias, including his personality and main qualities and values?
Matthias as a character, he's developed a lot in a different way than maybe people thought he would develop. He um, he is a smart guy. He is a loving guy, but he has troubles with aggression and not thinking things through. He just does things without thinking, and that's his problem there. He started off as a guy, a very smiley guy who just loved everyone and everyone loved him, and it was just, paradise on earth. but then it developed to him not knowing himself anymore and just seeing that he's been just putting on a mask this whole time, and it makes him very anxious and sad and thoughtful, and he becomes this guy who just like moves out of the house. He starts a new life and just throws away everything because he just wants to without thinking it through. Through this way, you can always find a better version of yourself, but also you can fall in depression and never find yourself. You never know. It's a big risk to take, and he's a risk taker, I think.
That was such a good way of saying it because he's been on such a journey and we're getting into, this new journey in season 3. So before we get into some of those, like you mentioned, being closed off and his mood changes, what can you share about his family dynamics? Like, what do you think his upbringing was like, and how has his childhood and his family's social status shaped him?
Well, he's from a family with a very good status. He has a father that owns like this whole Vesterøy seafood, and they're rich. They have a good life, but being rich and having everything you want in the world not doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy and can find the happiness in your life, because when you grow up having everything, then it's getting harder to find the good things in life. It makes you wanting more and more and more. It makes it very hard to love something very, very good because you've been so much loved, and his family is a good family, a very good family, very they're thinking about their son very much, and he's probably had a very good childhood. But when you get to that point where you just get so much things in your life without being thankful for it, it makes you very greedy and wanting something completely else, and that results in problems and family problems, and you just turning into a whole different man, right?
So his family wants him to take over Vasteroy Seafood and continue the family business, but Matthias has dreams of becoming a fisherman. So why do you think he likes being out on the water instead of in an office? Because this is something that his family, his parents have probably talked with him about, when he was younger, but he has other dreams, he has other goals.
He probably sees the opportunity to be the chief of Vesterøy Seafood as a too big of a thing for him. Too much work, too much time. I think it's he puts on a mask and he shows everyone, ah, yeah, I could do that. I'm the king, right? But inside he just doesn't feel like it. Big work to do as this chief of this family business, and that's why he, I think, wants to work hard and not being the the leader. He always seems like the leader, but maybe he is just tired of it.
That's a very good way to think about it when, you put on this position of power, but maybe, I mean, he's still young to think about all that responsibility is like a big thing for him.
Yeah, it's a very
What,
big thing.
why did he not tell Sarah about his dreams of being a fisherman?
It's probably because, well, I think it's a hard position to be in. He really loves her. He wants to be with her. He sees her in his future, right? But as a fisherman, you're going to go a different path than her. She's going to school in a different place, right? So maybe he was just scared for what will happen. So he just thought, okay, next day I would tell her, next day, next day, next day, next day, and then it results in a bad way. That's why it's so important to talk about things like that, talk it through and find a solution instead of avoiding it.
His parents loved her as well. So it's one of those things where he probably ties the two together in terms of like the expectations that they all had for him, to move with her to the city. How much of yourself have you put into Mathias over the past 3 seasons, and how does playing him challenge you?
Well, I've put a lot of myself into it because I grew up on an island, like they do in the series, and I've put on a lot of this leading roles and falling apart stuff because when you're at an island, everything becomes very exaggerated. Is that what I call it? I think so. But it makes everything become very much stronger and bigger. Like when you're happy, you're going to be twice as happy as in the city. When you're sad, you're going to be twice as sad as in the city because I don't know why it works like that because there's less people, there's less chance to be one of this big group and just having a normal life. You're always going to be different.
Now for Matthias, like, how does he feel knowing that his parents do not support his dreams and take his dreams seriously? Like, how is that for you emotionally to get into that? Because, like you mentioned, I mean, your mom, you said in your life, is very supportive of you. So that's something that you haven't really experienced when you were younger.
Well, when I was playing the role, I was trying to be very selfish because that's what he is. He doesn't think about other opinions. He doesn't think about maybe other people having a different opinion about things because I feel like he always got what he wanted to get, and that's why he's been so selfish in this problem right here, and just sees his own side and doesn't think about other people having a different state of mind.
I mean, it could go both ways for his parents and for Sarah as well, because they had this vision for Matthias. And now that he maybe doesn't want to do it, they can't see his kind of perspective. Matthias exposes Sarah's treatment at the mental hospital. He knew that this was a private and personal matter for her. So take me through his decision to share that information on social media, and like why did he share that information? What was he feeling?
I think he maybe was jealousy about her knowing what she's gonna do in life and him not knowing or knowing what he wants to, but knowing that he can't do it. And it's also a different person in the picture that comes in, and Erik and stuff, and he maybe wants to have her by herself, but he also does this so she can come to his arms, and he's gonna be the only one that understands her and the only person that she can trust, right? And she's going to feel that he's the only person in the world for her because he understands her and takes care of her, while other will laugh at her or be very bad for her. But I don't really understand why he did that. It's a very weird thing to do.
It's like that
But
whole selfish thing that you were
yeah,
talking about earlier.
it's a very weird thing to do. I would never do it, but I try to understand. I try, but I can't do it.
I think like that's the thing. You almost have to kind of figure out why your character does what he does, even if you are obviously opposite from him. But yeah, for Matthias, he's a very sneaky person because after those videos are posted, he tells the class, don't laugh at Sara, even though he's the one who
Yeah,
kind of did it in the first place.
that's why he wants to be the one for her, that she's going to see him as the only solution in life.
They don't have the same goals, but when they broke up in the past, they always got back together, Matthias and Sara. Why do you think it took him so long to finally accept that they were not good for each other?
I think maybe he saw what he did wrong, and maybe he saw that he's not a good person for her. Maybe he didn't get that much of jealous and selfish there, and actually thought that the paths will collide. She's going to a different world, he's going to a different world, and maybe he just accepted it in the end. And maybe this also was the part when he started to figure out that he maybe doesn't like girls as much as he thought.
It's something to say about like with Sara, they had been together for quite a long time, right? So it's something where there's comfort and like familiarity with her, and it's scary to think about, I'm sure, leaving that comfort for something
Mm,
else.
yeah, absolutely.
Matthias has a rocky relationship with his best friend since kindergarten with Felix. In your opinion, why are they growing apart? Like, what about Felix starts to bother Matthias more and more?
Well, Matthias discovers that Felix is not a very accepting type of person. He doesn't accept a lot of things. He has his own vision and doesn't accept Matthias for changing anything. He just don't doesn't know how to handle it, Felix, right? He doesn't know how to handle Matthias meeting another friend or other people, other lifestyle, and that's where it collides because I think Matthias has to meet a new world and new people because he develops as a person. He really does a lot, and that's why it's so hard for Felix to understand this.
Tell me about Erik and Matthias's relationship because Matthias is the one who first approaches Erik on the ferry boat in the series premiere, and their relationship has its highs and its lows. First off, what do you think Matthias liked about Erik, and can you describe the connection that they have?
Well, Matthias liked that someone new came to the island, that it was a new friend, a new world. Uh, and the relation between them was very good, very good. But then Erik kind of gets a very good relationship with Sara, and that's where it collides. And also Matthias wants to be friends with the new guy, and Felix doesn't accept him again, finding new people in his life, and that's why it has its ups and downs because Matthias is right between this kind of roller coaster of people just on each side of him. But then in the end, it turns out to be Matthias who is the loner, and he's outside of their relationship. That's how fast people can change, how things can change. It's crazy how it is.
I think going into season three, like when it premiered, a lot of people were wondering how did this happen? Because it basically like took these characters and in during the summer a lot has changed. When do you think Matthias started having feelings for Erik? Like, can you reference a specific scene where he had feelings for Erik that he couldn't explain?
Yeah, I remember when we were shooting in season two, there was a scene where Matthias was saying sorry to Erik for the thing when he knew that he was going to get beaten up, and then they are hugging at the end. And I will remember doing that, and I had to be in that state of mind where I really hugged him, like n not as a friend, but something more, and just really enjoying that hug. And that's the first time when we see Matthias maybe feeling something for Erik. I don't know if many people saw it at first, but then it developed.
I think it's one of those things where, as your character, you kind of have to find these little, like they call them beats or moments that kind of explain shifts in your character. And thank you for sharing that. That was it for Matthias. Now, in season one, I have to ask, a lot of people wanted to know. So he thinks about Erik and Sara kissing outside school, and Erik is the one who takes his shirt off. So I don't know if you talked with the directors or the writers, like, was that intentional having Erik's shirt come off? Like, who do you think Matthias was more attracted to in that moment, even if he didn't really know?
Well, we didn't talk about that actually. And I don't really know who he felt more attracted to, but I feel like maybe Erik. But still, Matthias is still in the place where he doesn't know if he likes Erik. It's not that he has crazy feelings for him. He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know in season one or two or three. He's developing something, but he's just developing thoughts and speculations, and he doesn't know how to find himself yet. Then I don't really know who he liked the most because I don't think he knew either.
What drew Matthias to Erik in that he wanted to start spending more time with him, less time with Felix and the other guys? Because you mentioned that he was new on the island, but as he got to know Erik, like, what did he like about him and just spending time with him as a friend?
Matthias also has a good heart. When we were recording it and shooting it, then I remember that I was in that state of mind where I had to think a little bit sorry for this guy. Like he came to an island and just people are talking about him fucking cats, you know? It's so weird. And that's why he takes care of him and wants him to feel good on this island and wants him to just be appreciated as the guy he is. He's a good guy, and he sees this good person in him, and which clearly Felix didn't see, and that's why he had an eye for him and was looking out for him.
Matthias, what's interesting is he does admit to Erik that he was wrong and he had a part in him getting beat up. And you mentioned the hug. So when Erik tells Matthias the full story about what happened with his arrest in Bergen, what did that mean to Matthias to be the first person he told the truth to? Like, how did his feelings change towards Erik?
Well, that's where he really felt sorry for him. He really fell in a thoughtful Matthias that has seen his fails and really felt sorry for this guy Erik, and I feel after this the role as Matthias he became more of a sad type or maybe very regretting this. because it's a very bad thing to do. That's where he actually shows that he has a heart and admits that he's been wrong.
It's the vulnerability in their relationship that really makes it like a beautiful connection that they have. Take me through the kiss scene between Matthias and Erik in the season two finale by the water. What made Matthias pull Erik in for a kiss? And what do you think those first reactions were for Matthias during and then after?
He did it because he maybe wanted to do it a long time. You know, when you're I've been in situations with girls when I'm like really have an eye for her and but you don't know what she feels about you. You get like these hints about her liking you, but you still don't know. And a kiss, it can tell so much without words. It's crazy how it works. And that's why he wanted to kiss him for an answer about maybe Erik having the same feelings right there in that moment. He felt it was right. It was right, and he wanted answers. And a kiss can tell a lot.
He got any answers from that kiss, or was he still even a little confused after it?
Both were very confused. It came from nowhere actually for many people. I think many people were confused, not only them. Um, but most of all, Erik, right? Because Matthias knows what he's doing. He knows that it can go very well. It can be a laugh or it can be a good reaction from Erik, but also it can result in the confusion that it resulted in. So he is fully aware of where it can go because you never know.
And it's something, like you mentioned, it kind of ties back to you said he's a risk taker kind of in that moment because he knows that they had a really good, solid friendship. And this is something that obviously could negatively affect that friendship. For Matthias, can you tell me a bit about his sexuality and how it has been discovering those new feelings? Like, I know that you spoke with the creative team about his bisexuality journey. To your understanding, were there any signs when he was younger that he may be queer?
He doesn't really know. It's the whole thing. He doesn't know. He doesn't know if he likes boys or girls or both or what he thinks. We're in that storyline where we just don't know. And I think the character has changed with time. I don't think he always was thinking if he liked boys or not. It's something that's developed uh, and is developing. It's ongoing, but uh, he doesn't know yet.
When you found out that this would be part of Matthias's story, like what were your thoughts on that?
I got to know it after I said yes to be to play as Matthias, and it was all okay for me. It was actually very good. It's very important to make a series with these important messages and ongoing situations where you don't know who you like, but it's perfectly normal. I think so much people feel like this but never tell about it. So it's important to show that you don't always have to know. You're still young. You can like whoever you want. It's perfectly normal. Just take your time. Don't stress about it because time will show. If you don't ever will like anyone, then it's perfectly okay. It's everyone are different, and I think the series shows it in a good way. It's an important message to show.
So well said. And Matthias is very relatable to a lot of viewers in that sense, still, figuring things out and not knowing. And it can be scary. So it's good to have that representation. Now, it is not shown in the show, but do you know how it became public knowledge that Matthias maybe likes guys? Like, how did that rumor spread? And is it something his family is aware of in season three?
Well, in season three, people get to know it when Erik and are talking about the situation, and Felix hears about it in the background. That's when people get to know it, and their reactions are that great, very bad actually, and the family, they also don't know yet. He isn't talking too much with them and doesn't have that connection that he had with the family, which is very sad, and also shows how important it is to talk with the family about these kinds of things. If you get a very bad reaction or a very good reaction, it's still better than not get any reaction and not telling them, because that doesn't make any conversations, that doesn't solve any problems. And that's why it's important that Matthias actually should come out with these situations and stuff. But he doesn't talk about it because he, as I said, he doesn't know yet about who he is and who he likes.
We know in the summer he spent it by himself on the fishing boat with these older guys, and he's been distant from Erik and Felix and everyone else. So tell me about like him closing himself off. Like you mentioned, he's struggling a lot internally, but with Erik, for example, after they shared that kiss, they decided not to talk about it. He didn't respond to Erik's text in the summer. Why was that?
I think he just was very stressed about it. He was he's not that good of solving problems. He likes to not talk about things and not talk it through, and that's where everything takes a lot of time because you don't talk about it. It's so much easier to just get through it than going around and thinking about it all the time. It just makes it so much worse. I would never just not talk about it if I was him. I don't understand why he goes in that boat and just doesn't reply on the texts and then lies. You have to be truthful and talk about the truth, because it's the only cure for pain.
Viewers are learning maybe what not to do from watching Matthias during that. But
Yeah.
um, I'm curious about the party scene you talked about in season three, episode two, where Felix he uses physical violence and homophobic language towards Matthias. What do you remember from filming, that scene? It's a very intense and emotional scene for like both of these characters, but for like Matthias especially being attacked like that.
I remember falling on a mattress, or no, it's like a big pillow. So that was nice. It was fun to do it. But I remember getting myself into the character, and I really felt sad. It was awful. It's like you're just talking with a guy that you wanted to talk with for so long and just didn't have the balls to make it, and then you finally talk with him, and then you get like almost punched in the face because of it. And I think this situation also makes it a lot worse for Matthias about talking about things, because he was stressed about talking with him. The first and the second he talks to someone, he just gets thrown on the floor. That's so it's terrible. But it was always fun to shoot all of these scenes.
Was it easy to kind of turn the switch on and off, like for you
Yeah,
get okay.
it went fast. It was a lot of joking around and then just just switch
Yeah,
over.
immediately.
Uh,
So in that scene, Erik, what was interesting is he reacted very passively to what happened to the situation. He didn't like step in. So how did it affect Matthias? First of all, to hear that Erik, he didn't care about the kiss. He kind of says that shit happens. So like, why does Matthias choose to break off the friendship that they have?
it's because after he tells him that it's okay and stuff, Erik just doesn't do much about Felix doing the things he does. Erik just follows him, right? He just follows Felix, just walks with him and doesn't even ask about Matthias how it's going, how that it's he didn't even ask if he was alright or anything, and that's when Matthias felt that betrayal and that maybe Erik is lying about him not thinking about the kiss, about him being okay with it or anything. It's because of this betrayal.
It's probably also a lot of like disappointment because he thought like he knew Erik, he thought that they were both maybe kind of similar in a way and to see him hanging out with this guy who just like attacked him, it's
Yeah.
not cool, it's not nice. What can you say about his new friendship with Olivia? Like why does he see her as a safe place? And keep in mind that she was the only one who kind of stood up for him at that party.
Yeah, well, it's very much about because she stood up for him and she is very feminist, right? She really cares about people talking about problems and stuff, and she talks about her family, like she has two moms, and she's been in a lot of situations herself, so she understands him. And he finally finds someone that he can talk openly with, and someone that understands him, and to someone that he doesn't feel that betrayal that he felt with Erik.
Definitely. And she's been a great addition to the cast. And, with her, she's so comfortable standing up for herself, which is something that, Matthias isn't able to do yet. Which has been your favorite scene to film across the three seasons up to season three, episode 8? So favorite scene and why?
My favorite scene was probably when maybe off the top, it was probably when we were filming that shooting with Erik or Benjamin at the boat when I told him that I knew or Matthias knew that he was going to get beaten up. We were joking so much around when we did that scene. It's a very serious scene, but we were having so much fun and just joking around and fishing and stuff. And I even got some fishes when we were shooting it. So it was a fun day.
How has it been to work so closely opposite Benjamin as Erik, including in the more intimate scenes that your characters share? Like, what can you say about Benjamin as a person and as a scene partner?
We are very comfortable around each other. We're very comfortable about talking about stuff and we're joking a lot of things around and that just makes it just perfectly all right to do all these intimate scenes and it's all fine because off shooting we're just doing the same just joking around and just having fun.
He told me that he's always trying to mess with you and like make you break or laugh during a scene, like when you were carrying like a mattress up the stairs or something like that.
He's always commenting stuff. He's always He's a weird guy sometimes, but in a good way.
Do you talk about your character's relationship at all during filming, or do you kind of just leave that for your characters?
Well, we don't talk too much about that, or not me, not so much about the character, but a little bit on Snapchat and stuff when we see things in the script and just, whoa, is this happening? What? And we're like, just, oh, cool, 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 cool. But not more than that.
When you first saw, the kiss scene in the season 2 finale, was that something that you kind of connected with right away and you were like, oh, this is a kind of maybe a surprise for both of you?
Yeah, it was a surprise. But we were like joking around when we were when we were talking about, with the director and stuff, and we were teaching, and we were trying out the scene and stuff, and we were just having fun.
It's something that you kind of, I mean, you're like professionals, but this is a new experience like for both of you, right? So it's kind of like you're learning on the go, finding like a safe space and that your comfort level. How about the response to your characters as a romantic ship? What has that been like for you?
I think it's very nice to see this developing, but as I said, Matthias doesn't know where he gonna get, who he's gonna like. He Many just want to ship them, want to see them together. I understand that, but when the other half is not that much up for it, then it's hard to tell.
There's still a lot more story to tell with all these characters. What has the cast relationship been like with you and the rest of the cast? Because with many of you, this is like your first big acting role in TV, so you get to go on this journey together.
It has been fantastic. We're having very much fun. We're having good contact. Today we're actually meeting up, and after I'm playing in the theater, we're going to be together. Some of the people from the cast, and we have a good relationship. It's all great. We spend time with each other, and yeah, keep the connection.
Because like when you're filming, you see these people every day for like a few months, right? So they kind of become this new family of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. You will always think that these are the people from the cast, but it develops throughout time to just to normal friends that you just meet at work, but you don't even think about that it's work. It just becomes a good friend group.
What has your time on Richter Rumors taught you about the film industry, and how much has your experience been impacted by the team behind the camera?
It has learned me about how fantastic the people are behind and in front of camera. That you can get so good along with all these people, no matter age, no matter how they are, no matter anything. Just how much people also does music and has the same interests as me. A lot of the people behind camera, they play in bands, rock bands, listen to rock. Always when we are driving to set, I'm pumping up this rock and roll with the driver, and everyone else in the back seats are sitting like this, the cast, and we're just vibing to the rock with people twice older than me. But it's very fun. It's a good family, and the industry is very fantastic.
What other specific messages have you seen and received from viewers like around the world, and what has that support meant to you?
It has been messages from USA, Brazil, Australia, everywhere. And it's so fun to see that so many people get inspired by Rykter, and it's just fantastic to see people appreciating me as a person also. And but it's very fun to see that people often think that you are the character. So, like Felix, his role has gotten very many like scary messages, like about his family, and just people are going crazy around that. And I'm getting very warm and good messages about people caring about me and asking if I'm doing great and feeling sorry about me, but I'm telling them I'm a different person. Sorry, it's not me.
It can be hard to, I think, sometimes separate like the actor from the character, but I know that I'm sure the support just means a lot to all of you, and I'm sorry that Martin's getting probably so many maybe comments or messages. I'm looking forward to talking with him about his character. There's a lot of TikTok and fan edits. Have you been seeing those on social media?
I've been seeing some of it. It's very fun that people make these and that people like watching them. It's cool, you know.
The series touches on so many topics, including social media and bullying, mental health, sexual harassment, for Matthias discovering one's sexual orientation. What do you hope young viewers take away from the show?
Something that is being brought up in the series is for instance asking the other partner if you want to get in these intimate stuff. It's brought up in the series. And it's wonderful that it is brought up, like asking for permission, like asking if this is okay, if this is okay, because I see a lot of movies and series that just doesn't pick up these topics about how important it is. You don't often think about it that they're actually asking for permission and stuff. But when you're looking at something, you think that's the ideal, and that's why I think that this works perfectly for young viewers and how normal it is to find yourself as a different person. And
Well said. And yeah, I think in English we use the word like consent. So it's definitely becoming something that's like opening more of a dialogue. And like you mentioned, obviously a journey is not, a straight path for an individual. What can you tease about what viewers can expect from the rest of season 3, but also season 4?
you can expect a lot of drama and a lot of important topics being brought up. Happiness, love, jealousy, a lot of jealousy, and typical things that are being brought up in when you're young.
I have one more question, our signature question for you. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
It would be strawberry. It would be strawberry. It's my favorite. It has always been my favorite. I always were eating strawberry ice creams with my grandfather, who teaches me to just eat strawberry ice cream, and it's just good memories with him.
I love it when you can tie it to something kind of personal and it brings back, like you mentioned, childhood memories. Thank you so much, Theo, for taking the time to chat. I really appreciate it.
It was very nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. And I hope we get to catch up again in the future. But until then, for all those watching, you can catch Theo in Rykter, which is airing on NRK in Norway. And for international fans, the series has been translated and uploaded by various users on YouTube. So you can check that out, show your love and support, and we will see you next time.
See ya.